source for the best jobs and advice for physician recruitment on the web. Today I'm with Josh Thurston, the director of our locum tenens department. I'm Jerry Ramusak, the CEO of the company. You might notice that we're a day late on our delivery with Coffee with Curare, and that we did that intentionally. We're going to be moving back to Thursdays. You could look out for some more original content every Tuesday as well. So we'll be moving forward with a Tuesday and Thursday format from here on out, with Coffee with Curare being Thursday morning. So tune in every Thursday morning for more great jobs and more great advice. Today we're going to be talking about, with Josh Thurston, about 4 outstanding locum tenens opportunities that are available right now and that are seeking candidates for the next several months. Take the floor, Josh.
Hey, thanks a lot, Jerry. Good morning. Just want to start off with some of the great locations we've got going on now across the country. Locums needs are everywhere in this industry. One of the top opportunities that we have right now, and they are in need of laborists as they search for more providers. Right now, what we're looking at is about 4 to 6 shifts per month in need of. We don't need a provider to pick up all those shifts. However, I want to point out that if they were to pick up all 6 shifts in the course of a month, if you do that over the course of 12 months, a whole year, you're looking at an additional $100,000 a year to your income. Yeah, fantastic opportunity, just picking up 6 shifts a month.
I might have missed, because I apologize, live television, weird things happen. We got some training going on and the people left the room. But did I miss, how many hours are those shifts?
Those hours are 24-hour shifts.
Okay.
So you'd be working a 24-hour straight shift in-house, on-site at the hospital the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
However, this is a growing group that is currently busy but not overwhelmed.
Okay.
So they just need some assistance, again, with that laborist coverage, the call essentially.
Obviously you wouldn't be awake that whole time. They probably have some kind of bed for you to crash in.
Absolutely, got a place to crash, everything's fine. And if it did get really, really busy, we know how it can be. It's very, kind of an unknown with when babies decide they want to, be
right.
born and come into the world.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get overwhelmed, they do have even an on-call doctor as well. So you're not just out there all on an island by yourself.
Okay.
So great opportunity, fantastic. Another really good metro opportunity that I have right now is in St. Louis, Missouri, urgent care. This urgent care clinic has been around for years. They've recently opened up 3 more locations throughout the city, and they're in desperate need of more providers. This can be nurse practitioners, physician assistants, or family medicine. Internal medicine is great as long as they can see kids. Great pay, you're looking at $110 an hour for a metro urgent care location.
That's pretty good for primary care physicians.
Very good for primary care. And talk about low volume. We're closer to 40, 45 patients a day instead of the 55 to 65 you would think you would see in a metro area. But they put their clinics in yes, they're around the city, but they're not spread out so far that some of those patients can't be the overflow sent to another location very easily. And they all have support. You don't ever have one provider in an office with patients trying to see everyone at once. You always have another little bit of support. Brand new state-of-the-art EMR systems, just fantastic employer with a great opportunity as well. As far as moving away from the primary care scene here, if you go all the way out west to Medford, Oregon, we've got a fantastic emergency medicine opportunity. That's Southern Oregon if you've never been there. That's far enough south that you avoid all the rain and the gray that you would see in the upper northwest. Get you a little closer to the border of Northern California. We're talking about vineyards, we're talking about outdoor recreation, and as many emergency medicine shifts as somebody wants to pick up.
I don't know the resorts down there, but I think that's the type of place as an ER physician that you could really enjoy going down there for a week or two and spend 1 week working, 1 week exploring if you're an outdoorsy type person. I know they have quite a few ski areas down there, and they're in this snow belt in Southern Oregon that gets hit with some really deep powder. It might be a little wet, but really great skiing opportunities and outdoor recreational opportunities over there for the adventurous physician that wants to maybe check out a working vacation, if you would.
Oh yeah, definitely, and that's something that we always want to come back around with locums, is that this can be a great opportunity to, if you've never done locums, it'd be a great opportunity to pick up a locum, get out, see other parts of the country, and you don't have to do it full time. You can just add this in once or twice a year. Maybe you do a couple weeks here, a couple weeks there, and that's just part of it. I've never ever seen an instance where one of our clients, one of our employers says, "We need a locum, Josh, but please send them by themselves. The last thing we want is to see any of their family."
Right.
That's never the case. They have no problem with what you do outside of your work hours. They need you there to cover the clinic, and then outside of that, you can have a great time with your family and friends.
Similar to our permanent employers, they want you to be happy while you're working for them.
Absolutely, it's so important. So, and I think the locums and the traveling, quite frankly, is going to keep you happy when you get back to your regular day job too. So,
well, I've heard that, and working with physicians over the years, I mean, one reason why they do locums is because it recharges their batteries with their permanent job. And so it could be a good idea to take a working vacation every year and maybe just see a different part of the country and get paid for doing it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That sounds fantastic. Moving back more towards the, I guess, the south, we've got a great metro opportunity here with a fantastic employer, one of the largest employers in the entire city of Houston, Texas.
Okay.
Multiple locations, 3 different primary care practices, all with the same large company, and they're all 100% outpatient only. They're got mid-level support, state-of-the-art facilities, all brand new. They actually work with some residents that come through the clinics as well. So if you enjoy teaching or you just enjoy the kind of that shadowing and mentoring aspect as a locum, you can be involved with that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always a possibility with this client of going from locums to permanent. 100% outpatient, like I said, volume of about 25 patients a day, looking at about 100 to 105 an hour, which is almost unheard of for outpatient-only family practice settings. But again, which is this just great opportunity. All 3 opportunities are a minimum 90-day assignment. Mm-hmm. So we're looking for someone that could actually come in and commit to something a little bit, say full-time, temporary full-time, if you will. And just can't say enough good things about the Houston area as well. Just beautiful pretty much all year round. And when you've got this kind of support, you might find yourself getting a permanent offer, be a great opportunity to maybe relocate.
Almost a try before you buy type situation.
Absolutely.
Give it 3 months temporary work or even less and see if you get it working into a permanent offer, if that's the desire for both parties.
Absolutely. Something I want to point out about some locums jobs difference from one another, just realize just talking about these jobs is that some locums opportunities require, regardless of setting, that you get hospital privileges even if you're in an outpatient role only. Mm-hmm. And that's something I do want to point out about those Houston opportunities. They do require hospital privileges, so you're going to want to have a provider that is board certified and has a pretty much squeaky clean background.
And with hospital privileges comes a delay in start as well. So it's something you have to be prepared for as you're doing these locums assignments. If you need to get the credentials at the hospital, it's going to take a little bit longer to get up and running. So you got to anticipate that with your current assignments or job responsibilities.
Oh yeah, fantastic. So, well, right now those are probably the top 4 locums opportunities I've got, but I definitely want to mention that we've got locums opportunities throughout the country. Right now I've got New York State, I've got Idaho, Montana, we've got Washington State as well, even Alaska right now. I've got a great need for a pediatric neurologist. If you've got any of those out there that might pick up on this, love to send you to Alaska. This is going to be the perfect time of year to go, pretty much going to be their summer season, if you will. And I've heard it's great. I'm getting ready to visit Fairbanks, Alaska myself.
Oh, great.
Coming up in June with some family. I'm looking forward to going to check out Denali, and who knows, maybe I can find a locums provider up there and actually get them even face-to-face on site.
Yeah, that'd be great. Well, thanks, Josh.
Yeah, thanks
Appreciate
a lot.
it. Next phase, we're going to go into some viewer questions and recruiter questions. First one that we got this week is, I know I only have one chance to make a great first impression. How can I make a positive impact on a phone interview? Well, I think the first thing that you could do for a phone interview is be prepared and be ready for it and actually take the call when it comes in. I've come to find that when you schedule phone calls as a physician, it's sometimes difficult to stay on that schedule because physicians are working during the day and they're busy people and lots of times their days are unpredictable. So I think one of the first things you could do is pick a time where you know you're going to be available and actually be there and be available for the call and talk openly about what you're seeking in a job opportunity. My second piece of advice would be to have your calendar ready, because if the phone conversation goes well, your ideal situation from the phone conversation is that you're going to be invited for an on-site visit. If you as the physician, as the employee, as the person seeking the position, makes a suggestion that, hey, I like what I see and this is all sounding great, I'd love to come and see you guys in person and meet you on site. The first call is probably the best time to do that. And so keep that in mind as you're moving forward with job opportunities, whether you're just coming out of training or you're a practicing physician. I think the best way to make a first impression is be engaged. What do you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's true. You know, of course, I'm the locums guy, and something important to know is, as well, is that you're going to have those same types of calls with locums. I mean, and frequently that may be the only contact you have with that employer.
You don't even do an on-site interview many times.
Yeah, very frequently it's a phone interview or a Skype at best. So it's important that that employer understands that you're right on the front end, available to make those appointments, even if it's as simple as a phone call, and that you are available and ready to answer their questions and commit to something as soon as possible. So, I agree.
Excellent. Next one is, I am not board eligible and I am not board certified. What are my options? Ooh, that's a tough question, actually. John, do you want to take this one? You've worked with more candidates like that than I have, I think.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's oftentimes referred to as a general practitioner, and that goes back before board certifications. Quite frankly, that all physicians were general practitioners unless you were a specialist, a surgeon, something like that. It's not the end of the world if you're no longer board eligible. Within family practice, I believe family practice doesn't even recognize the term board eligible anymore. It's either you're board certified or you're not, and that's pretty much all there is. You can certainly find an opportunity. You definitely want to rely on a good recruiting firm, somebody who has experience with that and has a broad reach. I think having flexibility with location, where you're willing to go work, are you willing to commute? I wouldn't say relocation is always required, but you have to be flexible. Right now I'm working with a general practitioner, very similar situation, great experience, no real malpractice history to speak of, but because they ran their own solo practice from the beginning, 25 plus years, never became board certified, they're no longer eligible. We're looking at moving from Kentucky all the way to Maine. One of the things we're talking about is doing a locums to perm, because that's a big move, and even with the general practitioner, we can get them in there, find us a little bit smaller hospital, probably lower volume anyway. They're willing to pay great money because they know they've got a rural, hard-to-fill location. But in the end, it's going to be a great opportunity where the provider can still offer a great service for the patients in the community.
I've also seen with general practitioners a couple of trends that have come up in the last couple of years where they're very welcoming, and that is your niche opportunities, like maybe hair regrowth type opportunities where you get trained specifically to do a certain task. Another one that's not as glamorous is hemorrhoidal removal. That's pretty popular. Wound care is another one that the doors could be open in. And one of the growing fields, of course, is long-term acute care, nursing home patients, so on and so forth. So the doors are definitely not completely closed to you. And like Josh said, I think it's the type of thing where you need to jump in and get a good, wide grasp of job opportunities, and we could do that for you here. One last question this week, and that is, I talked with an employer a week ago. I haven't heard back. What should I do? Well, that's a tough one. I mean, if your CV's in an employer's hand and you haven't heard back, if you're working through us, we're gonna be working with our client to make a phone call happen as quickly as scheduled, like we talked about earlier. Sometimes they might just happen randomly. But if you haven't heard in a week, I think the best thing to do would be to call us back and push our buttons to try to make that happen. And then we'll in turn call with our clients and make it happen for you. And if it doesn't happen at that point, we have to assume that there is no interest from the clients, or we confirm that there is no interest for one reason or another, and then we move on to plan B.
Yeah, and I'd like to add too with that, if it's only been a week, to take a step back. Number one, don't panic.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit more impatient than you. Thank you.
I'd say don't panic, first of all, and to reiterate, call your recruiter. Talk to them. They literally have a direct line with the contact where they sent your resume or your CV, and they can find out right now in most cases. If they can't, be patient. That's not the end of the world. However, there is the chance that they are just simply not interested and they haven't got back to you yet. Also think about the time of year. Are you applying for a job near the holidays? People go on vacations at the beginning of the summers. I mean, there's a lot of different factors that go into it. It's not necessarily your recruiter's fault or people aren't communicating. It might be as simple as somebody took a vacation the day they got your CV.
Right. Yeah, it happens.
So,
excellent. Well, that's going to do it for Coffee with Curare this week. You got anything else to add, Josh?
No, great. It's a good one.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you next Thursday, 9:30 a.m. Talk to you then.